doing super well, and I hope you're all excited for your last masterclass. Of course, your mentor is already here with us. I will introduce him, but I think we will just give everyone a minute to join in case anyone's facing any Zoom issues or network issues. But till then, yes, I hope you know what today's session is about. It actually is one of the most exciting sessions because it's something that you all can easily implement on your day-to-day life. So I think, and trust me when I say this, that I always take something for myself as well, because I feel like every time I learn something new from Abhishek when it comes to this session. So I hope you all have a fun time. We will just give everyone 30 seconds. Good evening, Afreen. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you to everyone who showed up. I'm happy that this is going to be a good masterclass for all of y'all. Okay, so let's begin. Let me introduce Abhishek to you, who is the Manager of Growth Strategy and Global Education at Mindler. He is a management graduate from University College London and also has summer credentials from LSE as well as HEC Paris. He is a dedicated mentor when it comes to guiding his students to Ivy League and G5 institutes. He is a profile building expert and trains his students to make sure that they make it to the best universities. And today's class is related to that, but is going to talk about a very different aspect. I will keep the chat off for now. Whenever Abhishek requires, we'll switch it on. But if you have any questions, I would say, like put it down so you can ask him. I think he will open up the chat he'll ask me to open up the chat for a few minutes for a few question and answers. So if you have any questions while he's talking, put them down so you can ask him later on. Yeah, over to you, Abhishek. Thank you so much for being here, and over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mansi. Hello, everyone. Good to be back here. I hope you're able to take away a lot of things. Just to set context, now Mansi has very well introduced the topic and told you what is in store for you. So I want to just give you some insights which can be used for you. Now, also, you guys have been doing this virtual internship for a while, and when you walk away, this can be a very good testing methodology for you. How do you share with the world what you do? I know some of you attended the previous masterclass I did as well. So I want to just expand on this to give you a very interesting insight into how do we build an online presence. But before I get into that, I want to start with a simple story. Growing up, I used to believe that, oh, when you go to good universities, you do certain things, you automatically get opportunities. Fast forward to going to good universities, I realized that if you're not trying to put yourself across, sharing your story, presenting yourself in the right way, it's useless. I can go to the best universities but still not get the right job. I can go wherever I want to still not get the internship. So it comes down to how you convey your story. The challenge is if I look 10 years ago when me, Mansi, and I were going to university, that time things were very different. We were still a little more organic in terms of connecting with people. Today, if I depend on this, I am going to be restricting my opportunities. So if I don't have a digital presence, which is very well curated to my particular profile, it becomes all the more difficult to convey my story and connect with people all across. So it's very, very important for you to understand that why we are doing this. All of you are going to apply to colleges very soon. All of you will be applying for internships, jobs down the line. So if you are able to build a very strong personal online profile, it makes a huge difference. I also want to cover how to go about this. What is the process? What platforms work very well for you? How do you create a very personal narrative? So just say on if you have questions, I'm happy to address at the end as well. The first and foremost thing is, why do we need an online presence? Because we live in a world where we need to connect to anybody and everybody. And at a certain time, if I limit myself to just my physical space or my school or university, I'm not going to be able to grow. Because what if I have a particular interest area and I have nobody that I know in that space? How do I build on it? So it becomes a major problem. So the best possible alternate is I put myself out there on any online platform, and the multiple examples of it I'll cover is just connecting with people, having conversations, helping other people know that what you are doing, what you are building, because that's how you share ideas. I mean, today, if I have to know what's happening in the world, I'll go and watch the news. I'll look at Instagram because that's an important source for me. But imagine I don't have social media. Now, I'm not encouraging somebody who doesn't have social media to go and push yourself there, but having a presence, I'm sorry, it's imperative. I can't survive without. As in, I mean everyone here, right? Why is online presence important? Strong online presence is crucial because all of us are connected digitally. Pandemic was the perfect example. Despite being stuck in our houses for the almost couple of years, we were still able to get the work done, socialize, network, talk to people around. In fact, some people who were very conscious, not very open to talking to people, were able to break that barrier because it was online. So they were able to make connections across. And I'm not talking about people in the same country, you're talking to people across the globe. And that gives you an exposure like no other, right? So I hope you're understanding the main points. Second advantage is, now all of you are looking at college applications. When you're connecting with universities, researching about it as well, having an online presence, it's very convenient for you to connect with university professors, connect with students who are studying at universities, take feedback. Oh, I don't know this program. I have seen this is a good rank program, but is it right for me? Who do I ask? I have nobody. Can I reach out to a professor who's listed on the course website? Can I connect with them and understand the teaching methodology? Let's say I've gotten into the university by now, because some of you might have applied, gotten admissions. How do I reach out to them and ask them that, listen, what is it that you expect me to prepare when they come? Do I have to read something, prepare something, so I can use and leverage their presence? I have time today in class 11. Can I go and intern? Can I reach out to people on different platforms and discuss with them? Can I use LinkedIn to connect with somebody working somewhere and be like, I like the work you do. Is there a possibility that I can come and work for your organization? If you have no clarity and you don't have a medium, it becomes very, very difficult. So having an online presence have multiple advantages. I could go on about this all day, but I think you get the context. Before I go ahead, can you share what is the biggest advantage you feel about having an online presence? Mansi, can you open the chat? Let's see. What do you think is the advantage of having an online presence? Let's see, according to all of you. You guys use it more than I do. Building a community. Thank you, Anushka. No boundaries, confidence, interaction with people, social connections. Hmm. That's very interesting. See, somebody saying a LinkedIn account already. That's wonderful to see. Self-branding, networking, brilliant, guys. Thank you so much. Now, all of some of the points are brilliant. Now, talking about exposure to things, I want to use that. Thank you, Adarsh, for sharing that. I'm going to school. I have certain interest areas, but when I go to different platforms, I talk to people. I see what they're writing about, talking about. I get curious as a person, and then I want to go and figure out things. It's a very simple bit. Till the time you're not curious enough, you don't learn. And if you're not learning, how are you deciding? I mean, today an uncle auntie comes to you and says that, what do you want to do? You have one, two ideas in mind, you'll say that. But what about the thousands of ideas and occupations and careers you've never heard about? So social media and digital media allows you the access to information. Of course, it has its own set of cons. I'm going to come to that later. But more than the advantages which you all understand, how do we manage our social media presence, right? How do you create the presence? How do you maintain a professional presence? Now, when we look at students who are in 11th and 12th and high school students, all of you, how do you leverage this? Now, the first platform to talk about is Instagram. All of you use Instagram, I'm assuming. Okay, before I go ahead, can you tell me how many of you don't use Instagram? Is there anybody? If it's no right now, otherwise say yes. Okay, everybody does, I hope. Nope, I don't too. These people will be very peaceful. Oh, a lot of you don't. Wonderful. I get it. But Instagram is not a bad thing at all. Why is Instagram helpful now? Imagine I want to go to universities. LinkedIn, I can go and connect with people, but Instagram gives me pictures, activities, ideas. I always encourage all my students who have Instagram accounts to go and follow university. You can see what kind of work students are doing, what are they participating in, what is their life like, because that gives you a very, very important idea about, okay, what can be my life like at university, because you have no idea. And that gives you a very interesting take on universities. If you don't have Instagram, that's completely fine. You can always go to the university websites for this. Otherwise, the best possible platform all of you can have is LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn works as a brilliant tool. Before I continue talking about it, let me show you something. Let me share my screen and show you how LinkedIn is a major tool for advantage. And I'll keep doing it a couple of times so you have an idea. So let's say I want to study at a particular university. How do I find people? Let's say I want to look at a London School of Economics, because that's one school I can easily help you navigate. Let's say I go on the university page and I'm not too sure what I want to do, who I want to connect with. I have something called alumni. People who have studied there, been there, done that, and I can be like, oh, what are the people doing? People going to LSE, where did they study? Before I go ahead, I can also be like, oh, which country do I want to connect in? Do I want to connect with people in India, UK, wherever? And I can also see where have they worked. Now, I have no idea what kind of careers I can look at after graduating from LSE. Here you can have a look at their profiles and be like, oh, a person is working in consulting, person is working in different roles. I also want to do that. Can I connect with that person? Can I reach out and ask for queries? That's all. That's all you have to do. And it's a brilliant network. I want to connect with people who have, let me just show you something. Let's say I want to connect with professors as well. I'll show you how we can do that. Okay, done. So I'm going to go on people. I'm going to find people. There you go. I can also filter down people who are studying from at LSE right now and working or have graduated. And I can also search, let's say, professor. There you go. I can have a list of professors who are teaching at LSE or studied there as well, and I can easily connect with them. So this allows you a very strong network. Beyond this, I want to connect with different people, let's say, who are doing similar things. Let's say I come from a particular school, let's say Mayo College. I can find other friends of mine, connect with them, build that network. I come from a particular boarding school. I can start following others. I come from a particular community. You can do so much. And this is why LinkedIn Works is a very good tool. I'm going to circle back to this in a bit. So that is the major advantage with this, which online presence offers. Now, one factor is building an online presence. Second bit is how do we leverage it, right? Some of the most important factors about building a presence is the do's and don'ts. Now, a lot of people forget that it's also about just human behavior. If I'm meeting somebody, connecting with somebody, and the person is not behaving a certain way, I wouldn't be willing to connect. To give you an idea, basic manners, etiquettes, reaching out in a polite way is very, very important because when you're networking with a stranger, you have to understand the basic human decorum doesn't change, be it online or offline. You have to be very particular how you approach people, talk to people. On LinkedIn, you have to follow a very basic ethic. And I'm going to just show you certain examples which are going to help you guys to build a very strong network. Let's say I'm a student and I want to connect with somebody senior. Let's say I want to connect with a person like Sarthak. And Sarthak is a very famous person and I'm not connected. Now, I have an option of connecting request, but I have an option of sending without a note. But because Sarthak is an established person, I can simply reach out to him. Dear Sarthak, because he's somebody I know and I'm a professional as well. I'm not writing sir, etc. And you can just write in a polite way. I am looking forward to be a part of your LinkedIn community. There you go. Is it difficult? Absolutely not. I can easily do that. So the point is, how intentional are you? That's it. It's sent. Instead of randomly reaching out, I have put a message to the person who's at least I'm making that little effort. That's all we can do. Otherwise, I want to understand about basic profiles. How do you make a basic profile? I want to show you an example of certain students. You'll be surprised how well placed they are. What do they do? So let's say anyone of you has a well curated LinkedIn profile. You want me to open your profile? Anyone here wants to volunteer? So I can give an example. Can you mention your names, guys? Okay, done. I think I'm gonna mention this. Okay, there's somebody mentioning here, so I'm gonna take his profile. Guys, you have to understand there are a lot of names in India that are common. So let me see. Why is this coming? Wait. Okay, I think I missed the name. Never mind. I'll just open a couple of my students I know who I work with. Let me show you how good LinkedIn profiles can be. So let's say you get an idea. This is a student of ours, and this is a very well kept student profile, right? She studied at the Mayo College, but when you look at the profile, she's mentioned about a school, what she does. So anybody coming to the profile can easily tell and share what is the profile like, what do you do, the kind of certificate she's done, the kind of courses she's done. All of these things make a big difference. The kind of volunteering activities, kind of skill set she has. So it's very, very convenient for you. Now, in case you guys are wondering, how do I go ahead in doing all of this? It's not too difficult. Now, let me give you some hacks that you can use for LinkedIn. This is one of my favorite LinkedIn profiles. I tell you why. I'm a high school student. I want to tell people how good I am at something. Now look at this, what this person has done geniusly. You can look at his LinkedIn banner and tell in a second every single skill he has, every single company he's worked for. And he's a really cool person when it comes to this. I've known him formally for a while now, and it's easy to tell. But how do I make a LinkedIn banner? It's not even difficult. Let me just show you right away. Let's say I open Canva. And by the way, Canva is free. You don't have to pay for it. You can simply make it. It's a very cool tool. I don't know how many of you use Canva already. But let's say I want to make a LinkedIn banner. I'm just teaching you hacks that you can all of you use easily, right? I have so many templates. See, even if I'm a student, I can start and just make a banner. I have so many options. There you go. You can just simply change details and have a banner, whatever you want to do. You can make it more personalized to yourself. So these things are not too difficult at all. You just have to be intentional and working on things and writing things, right? Circling back to LinkedIn. Now let's say I want to add certain skill sets. Let me go on my profile and show you how certain things are done. So let's say I go and I have to add particular skills. There you go. I can take a skills quiz. I can add the skills I have. I can ask people for recommendation. Let's say you have particular friends or people who can vouch for you. They can send you skill sets. I can add my languages. I can do multiple things here to show. Now I care about certain causes. How does it help people who have similar causes? They will also relate to me and see my profile as well. I can have blogs written. I can start articles. You have so many options available. I can post about topics. I can start a poll. So LinkedIn allows you to start and having a conversation. Now, I want to, let's say, open LSE again. I want to figure out about a university, understand details. Let's say I want to discover about what is happening here. Can I look at what kind of programs is LSE teaching? Where are the people going? What kind of careers? So the multiple tools and resources I can keep talking about all day. So the idea is you need to be able to build a very strong presence. If you can start now, it will be brilliant. It helps you a lot. A few other things to keep in mind about a personal brand. Now, please understand anybody and everybody wants to build network because they want to grow in their careers, they want to get into good schools. But how do you build a personal brand? That's a very tricky thing. Can you, Mansi, can you please open the chat? Can you tell me one brand you can never forget? Like you relate to the most, your favorite brand can be food, it can be clothes, anything. Doesn't matter. What is that one brand you relate to? Amazon, Nike, go on. Meta, Microsoft, Apple. Why do you relate to these brands? Because they are very quirky, very interesting. Let's say Nike is motivating to people. Meta is an interesting company. Zara, fast fashion, right? So the idea is similarly, what's your personal brand? When I hear a brand name, I can already relate to something they do. So what is your personal brand presence? You need to be able to make a niche for yourself that people recognize. Let's say you're very good at talking to people or communicating. Now, the second they hear your name, they should know that this person is good at communication. You're somebody who's very responsible. The second people hear your name, that is the first adjective that should come to somebody's mind. So you have to build that presence. But how will they get to know? If you're talking about the space, if you're working on the space, if you're doing courses in communication, if you're also going ahead and learning about a particular domain, talking about it. It's so easy, kids, today to be an opinion leader. You don't have to, right? You don't have to be a particular age to share your opinion. People are going to listen to you and work with you. So you have to try and build that presence early on. Now I'm going to give you a simple task. Uh, Tell me three words that can go for your profile. I'll give you an example. These three words should be one skill, one hobby, and one quality. I'm writing down here. One skill, one hobby, and one quality. There you go. I want you all to mention these three together. One skill, one hobby, one quality that you would want somebody to know about you. Content writer, reading, leadership. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Developer, coding, and leadership. Interesting. Web development, reading novels, intuitive. Now imagine, Vishal, I'm going to use your example. I'm somebody who's an avid reader, wants to be a web developer, and very intuitive. That's a very interesting thing to know about somebody. I might forget Vishal's name because Vishal is a common name. My name is very common, but the person will always remember that this person does this. This is the person who likes novels and likes web development. So find common ground that you want to share with people. A lot of universities ask these questions in applications as well. So this is a very good practice for you as well. But I will remember you this way. So that is what I'm trying to put across, that when you're looking at applying to colleges and everything, this is how you make a strong presence for yourself. Anyone else wants to share? What about the rest? I got only 5 replies. 4. Okay, fair. No worries. Now, few rules I want to talk about is my online privacy. That's very, very important, right? Now, online privacy is very tricky because, of course, I have to save information. I need to protect myself and data. Thank you, kids. This works well. Thank you for sharing. You get the idea, right? Now, when I'm looking at online privacy, you have to make sure you maintain decorum, you understand and respect others, but also maintain your data. So don't overshare. I'll always request you to not overshare about your address, your family too much on social media, even on LinkedIn. So that's a very important factor because you have to be very careful about certain things, right? When you're talking about in a recorded session, what are you saying online makes a big difference. Uh, it's purely because of your safety. So just remember to be very, very mindful and careful about it. And also, for example, certain platforms have different privacy policies. When you're using LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all of them have a different rule. I know when we join a platform, they give you an agreement term in terms of terms and conditions. Always make a practice of reading. You will not realize so many times things can go wrong and people are not aware about these things. So I think you guys are smart. You are better aware and educated. So let's make the most of it. I think all of us required to create an online portfolio. Now, let's say all of you have a resume or a CV. How do you put that across? When I showed you an example of certifications, etc., you can put them together. But how are you doing it? What image or what story you want others to know? Now, you want to showcase the university that I'm somebody who wants to study economics. I'll put down courses, activities, topics, interest areas about economics. I'll follow people who are working in the industry. That tells me a story that you are somebody who wants to work in this space. So you can define your story, students, very easily. And that's very important for you guys. Um, the way you connect with people is also tells a lot about your skills. For example, I have to write a mail to a particular professional, the way you're communicating, that makes a huge difference. Do you have the right language? Are you communicating all the right things? Do you have the right vocabulary? So you have to continue maintaining the professionalism. That's equally important. It can't be a random message to somebody, right? Doesn't really work. I can't stress on your online etiquette. Let's say if you're on a particular platform, you're seeing somebody bullying somebody. Cyberbullying is a major crime. Try and make sure you try and report it and stay away from it, right? In the sense that if it's happening to you, report the person. You have so many features available to report, raise a complaint, and make sure if somebody else is suffering, you don't let them. You completely report a person who's bullying somebody or using the wrong kind of language or behavior, right? And that's very important. Uh, Other than this, networking and communities, I think as students, the best possible community you can make is with other students. Let's say you are so many of you here online, all of you can connect with LinkedIn. Let's say, and easy to find, all of you can talk about, let's say, I want to connect with students who are also interested in computer science. I can immediately try and search for those people going to certain schools and I connect with them, have a conversation, start a forum, and you can do that. So many communities already exist. Either you join the ones that exist or you can create your own. Second bit is whenever you're trying to be part of a community, try and understand that every person is different instead of imposing something. Understand the narrative and what kind of people are there, understand their culture, understand what kind of things they prefer, and then communicate. Chat, LinkedIn, all of them follow a different decorum. I think you need to understand what kind of. So you can choose to have different narratives at different platforms because your audience can be very different and all of you can very easily differentiate it. It's not tricky at all. It's very, very important for you to define that how I want to use which platform makes a big difference. I'm going to ask you a question which will be surprising. How many of you know that universities today ask for your social media accounts in applications? You can write yes or no. So imagine if you don't have a LinkedIn account, what will you put? Will you put an Instagram account or will you leave it blank? So that's a very good question to think about, right? And even if you haven't started, it's not too late. You can still start a LinkedIn account and start connecting with people. It just takes time and effort. You can't randomly build things when you go to university. You want to intern, you want to work with people, you have the best chance. Let me show you even now how can you intern as well, especially for class 11s. Let's say you're doing this internship, we found this opportunity. How do you start connecting with people? Let's say I want to go on jobs. I'm just giving you very particular insights. Let's say I want to intern and I want to choose particular filters for myself. Uh, 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 I'll search for intern. I'm making it very, very simple and I'm keep filtering it. Let's say I go on intern, experience level internship, company I don't want to choose. I can take remote or anything. And now I start looking at options, right? And a lot of them you will find are irrelevant. Now, let's say I want to do marketing and I've chosen internship. Now I'll get filtered companies. Now, let's say I only want to work with certain companies, Walt Disney. I want to work with good names. I want to work with what else? Develop for a particular role. And you can start writing the keywords in your application and profile. I'll show you where you write keywords. Let's say if you go on my profile, you can tell what all do I do, and these are my keywords. These are things that people can find me and research me for. That's very, very important, right? So try and understand all these things are very straightforward. It's not complicated. In fact, you guys use social media more than possibly I do. So there are a number of things you can start doing, right? And build that very strong online presence. Just make sure you do it right. You're not copying others. You can take inspiration from others, but make sure you are doing it the right way. You are your own story. There's nothing unique about copying from somebody or taking the same profile. Don't do it. Write a very strong about section explaining what is your journey. Use the keywords I mentioned about your skill, hobby, what you want to do. So let's say, to give you an example, I want to be investment banker. What will my profile look like? I am a aspiring investment banker who's interested in numbers, understanding companies. I'm also good at reading and analyzing data and presenting data. I'm sharing my skill set. I'm also a cricket player. That shows I'm a team player. I can work with people. So you are using your skills and activities and hobbies to connect with people. And that's the best way to take advantage of certain situations, right? And that's all you can be doing. And that's very, very crucial for all of you. Mansi, you can open the chat. Students, if you have any questions about this so far, before I conclude, happy to do that. Any questions I can address? Adil, I'm not too sure. Mansi, can we, Adil, I would not encourage you to message here. And can you, okay, very good question. So, Dikshita, I think it depends on what you like. So, for example, you are interested in talking about finance. So, you can actually read about the space and write about finance and topics you understand. You don't have to sound smart. You have to be genuine to what you like. If you're not interested in topic, why would I write about it, right? So, you can find content in books, podcasts, shows, and you can. The easiest thing I do is when I come across an article, I can go on my post and talk about that article and summarize and share what I liked about an article, right? Advika, for Instagram, I would say it's not, you can make it professional if you have a narrative. Like, is there a particular thing you're trying to do? Let's say you want to, if you look at my Instagram, you'll find that, okay, I have maintained a very fine line between what I'm working on and what my personal thing is. So you have to define that for yourself before you start doing it, right? Hobbies are always going to be useful, Swasti. Hobbies tell a person that you're more than just that. Absolutely, Anushka. I think YouTube is still one of the best possible places. One thing I can recommend is YouTube Shorts. Short form content is more preferable. So yeah, absolutely. You can do that, Vishal. Any certificate can work well. You can absolutely post it. So, Dikshita, the simple point is, why do you think it's rare? Good point. I'll answer this. So, when you reach out to somebody, you say, I want to work with you, but I don't know you. I don't know your skill set. You have given me a challenge to figure out something. Instead of doing this, I say that, listen, I know your company. I know the work you do. This is my skill set. I can come in and help you. Now you've given me a solution. Make it difficult for another person to say no to you. You have to ask for an opportunity, but the right way. Aditya, it start with showcasing your skill. If you want to be a copywriter, you need to be good at writing, reading, talking to people, understanding. So you showcase that skill. Let's say if I go on your LinkedIn today, will I find you or your writings? If I don't, how do I even trust your writing? You need to make a portfolio, create a website. You guys have so many AI tools today you can use to do anything. Oh no, I don't think so, Asti. You require any promotions. You can grow organically as well in a very, very big way. So you don't have to go and spend money on this. And that's not something I'm advocating or advising as well. I think story writing and storytelling is purely about showing your interest, your adaptation. That's how people get into this. Now, look at people who are brilliant writers. Try and see their journey. Go and read an autobiography. You learn about them, right? Others, what's the question? Mariam, can you give me an example? Question. Aditya, what's the question? Guys, can you please write a question? Can you imagine you're not even writing full questions? How do I make a good profile if I can't even write a full question? We have to be very intentional when we ask questions as well. Mansi, I think we're good. I've tried to answer most questions, if not all.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's brilliant. A diverse portfolio can never be wrong. In fact, it gives you more options. You get recognized for more things. So absolutely. Uh, Disha, I think the challenge is this domain is not explored till the master's level. So you can read about it, pick up courses. Like I can recommend online courses. You can look at Coursera, EDX. You can listen to a few podcasts. But yeah, that's what you can do. Dan Mansi, over to you.
Lovely. I think yes, he did manage to answer a lot. Can I use AI to enhance your LinkedIn profile? Do you want to answer that?
Absolutely, 101%. I think you can use ChatGPT or Bard AI to do a fabulous job. You can just give them the right words, but you have to write the right set of instructions. You can do a fabulous job with it. I can tell you a few platforms you can use that you might not know uh, already. Bard Gemini. Agent GPT and Bard Gemini are the two platforms I would say are much better than ChatGPT, and you can use them to refine your LinkedIn profile. Absolutely, why not? When you have the technology, you might as well use it.
Lovely. Okay. So I think Abhishek's session was very informative, even though it was very like impactful. I hope you all have taken away. I know we did talk about LinkedIn when we were talking about backtracking our careers, but what we need to understand that LinkedIn can be a very powerful tool if used nicely or efficiently, right? Like take it from someone like me who when I was working, like when I started working 7 years back, LinkedIn was not as big as it is today, but at the same time, people who used it, I never knew how to reach out to them, how to kind of talk to them, right? Now with today's session, I'm sure all of y'all would have taken away a lot of points as to how you can implement. And again, one thing that I would say that I think Abhishek mentioned or has mentioned in his previous one is to be consistent in your communication, because no one wants like a erratic behavior or an erratic personality, because otherwise they won't really know who is it that you actually be, like who you are, right? So I think he has answered a lot of his questions. Thank you so much for being here, Abhishek. Over to me. I know we're like gonna keep it short, but of course I have to congratulate all of you for completing your internship journey. I hope you all have had a good experience. Like I said, there is a lot that is still going to be coming for the rest of your Mindlearn Navigate journey. Just give me 1 second to share my screen. Yeah. Lovely. So let's go for it. Congratulations, absolutely congratulations to everyone from batch 5 for making it to the end of your Mindlaw internship program. I hope you've had a great time. I hope your learnings were exponential and you were able to take away something or the other from every masterclass. I think all of you all already know this, that what are your next steps going to be. You should be able to download your internship completion letter in a few days. There are two ways you can do it. It will either appear, it will be available on your dashboard after a few days. So you can refresh your dashboard, you'll get like your internship completion letter option to download it. And the second one is you would get it via mail from us. So again, if you don't read the mails from us, I would say definitely keep an eye out, because that's where you'll get your letter of completion from. Now, we already spoken about the Mindless Scholarship and Talent Hunt. I just want to update you all that yes, the university preferences will unlock in the last week of December. I know we're already in December, but just like another week, 10 days, and your university preferences will open. I would recommend, if you haven't already done the profile assessment, to do it now. because I know that some of y'all will have pre-boards. If not, or if y'all don't have, I'm sure it's a great opportunity for you to just find out a little bit more about yourself, especially when you do the assessment. Right. When it comes to top performers, everyone's obviously going to get letters of recommendation. But again, this is going to take place in Feb when the entire Mindlearn Navigate program gets over. And this includes Mindlearn Scholarship and Talent Hunt. I know 11th graders would be like, but wait, that's too long. I would love for you all to be a little patient, right? And then I'm sure all of y'all will receive, not all of y'all, only the ones who have performed really well will receive their letter of recommendation. I know all of you already know about 20 under 20. From this batch, by tomorrow, we'll identify who is it that's going to make it to the top 500. Top 500 is then going to receive a few special tasks. Basis that, we will identify and see how we are going to identify 20 under 20. Like we mentioned before, you get to have one-on-one time with a mentor of your choice. Other than this, we also publish you on our website as well as our magazine. So there's a lot of fun perks if you make it to 20 under 20. But don't be disheartened if you don't. It's fine. At least you tried. As long as you've put in effort and you've been working hard towards something, I think it's okay if you don't get always the recognition for it. It's at least something that you can always mention on your resume or your CV. Your next assignment, of course, today's assignment is, now that we know what a strong online presence is and how important it is, right? Like, we never know who's looking at a profile. It can be public, it can be private, but let's say a company we're working for 5 years down the line is someone, maybe someone from that is going to be looking at a profile at some point of time, right? So I actually want to just quickly open up the chat and I want you all to just tell me how many of y'all already have a LinkedIn profile? Just give me a yes or a no. Okay, thank you for being honest. Okay, so there are a lot of people who said no. So I think this would be a great opportunity for you to go ahead and make your LinkedIn account, because trust me, in the long run, you'll be like, thank God I did this for an assignment. It does not even necessarily have to feel like an assignment. It's just something you should do and it will help you in the long run. Adil, I would just like to point out that you have been sharing your name as Zara's name. So I don't know whose LinkedIn you've been sharing. Maybe we need to be a little bit more aware of what we are copy pasting. But yes, for the people who already have a LinkedIn account, use the tips that you've gotten today to make an even more effective LinkedIn account. If you haven't, just explore, make an account, explore to see how is it that you can benefit from it. Can you create your own community? Can you reach out to mentors? Can you reach out to people who, you can reach out to for, let's say, advice or to understand what should be your next step in your professional or educational journey, right? I hope all of you already know how to do the Mindlearn Scholarship Assessment. If you haven't already, on your dashboard, you will see this thing called scholarship, where you will see the 6-dimension test. Remember, once you finish the test, you will find your best fit careers that can also help you kind of backtrack what is it that you can do. Let's say you're in 11th grade, maybe this will help you be a little more certain when you go into 12th grade. If you're in 12th grade, of course, knowing which is going to be your best fit career is going to help you understand what course should you select in the upcoming year, right? So with that, it is bittersweet to end this internship, but I hope all of you all were able to take away a lot from it. We will be in touch, right? I hope you all the best for everything that you all do. For people who haven't already, maybe we'll get we might do more sessions. Again, if we do, you'll get to hear from us. To the people who get selected in top 500, congratulations. If you don't, it's okay. There's always an opportunity some other time, right? I hope you all don't get disheartened by any of it. But with this, I would like to conclude today's class. I wish you all the bestest of luck. I hope you all have had a splendid internship opportunity. And with that, thank you so much.